Hello friends, welcome to Vision of Justice. In this channel, we keep posting videos on important topics related to law at regular intervals. Today, we are going to learn about the anti-defection law, the law relating to the disqualification of MLAs and MPs from the parliaments or state legislature on the ground of defection. So what can be called as defection and why was this law needed? After the 1967 and 1971 general elections to the Lok Sabha, a large number of MPs across the country and large number of MLAs across the state assemblies defected from their political party and they joined other political parties. This caused huge instability in governments across all the states and the country as well. Therefore, a need was felt that a new law which could put a full stop, put a speed breaker to such type of defections was needed. Therefore, the Rajiv Gandhi government brought out the anti-defection law to the constitution through the 52nd amendment to the constitution. Articles 101 and 192 were amended and a new schedule was inserted into the constitution known as the 10th schedule. This 10th schedule is known today as the anti-defection law. So, this law specifies for the disqualification of MPs and MLAs from Parliament and the Legislative Assembly, as the case may be, on a few grounds. So, what are these grounds? Number one, if an MLA or MP resigns from the membership of the political party, voluntarily gives up membership of the political party on whose ticket he contested and won the election. That means the party which gave him the ticket for the election. Second, if he votes or abstains from voting against the direction of the party. So it can be that, for example, the party ordered him, asked him not to vote in a particular process and he voted in the particular process. It can also be that the party asked him to vote in the particular process and he refrained from voting. He did not vote in the process. Likewise, if the party asked him to vote in favor of a bill or resolution and he voted against it, or if the party asked him to vote against a bill or resolution and he or she voted in favor of it, then also the MP or MLA can be disqualified if the party does not forgive the delay, the voting or the abstention within 15 days. That is, the party does not condone the delay within 15 days. And the third one is that if a nominated member joins any political party after he is elected, after he takes charge, he can be disqualified. The President has the power to nominate 12 members to the Lok Sabha and 12 members to the Rajya Sabha. If those people join any political party after they are nominated, they can be disqualified. Likewise, if an independent member who stood independently in the election and won it joins any political party after being elected as an independent, then also he or she can be disqualified. Some of the recent examples of defections, or you can say the use of anti-defection law, we can see are the political crisis in Karnataka, the political crisis in Madhya Pradesh and the Rajasthan political crisis. So what happened in Karnataka was a few members of the party who were ruling in the state, a few members from the JDS and a few members from the Congress, they gave their resignations to the speaker, but the speaker did not decide on the resignations whether to accept or reject them for a long time. Also, the speaker sent them notices, the party sent them notices to be present in the assembly for the floor test. Now we can have a question: if they have resigned from their positions, they have not resigned from their party, they have just resigned from the position of an MLA, can they be forced to attend the assembly session against their will? Well, the answer would be no. How can we force someone who does not want to do something to do it? We cannot. This is another loophole in the anti-defection law. Recently, in January 2020, a judgment called K.M. Singh versus Speaker Manipur Legislative Assembly was passed. This judgment specified that the speaker had to decide upon the disqualification of MP or MLA within 3 months. This judgment specified a time limit for deciding on disqualification. It does not provide for a time limit for deciding on resignations. This is a loophole which the speaker, who is generally supposed to be unbiased, can adopt. As we can see in many cases, the speaker belongs to the ruling party and therefore he can work in a biased manner in favor of the ruling party. Whether he decides to disqualify or whether he decides not to disqualify, he can work in favor of the ruling party in a biased manner. Another problem which we recently saw was the Madhya Pradesh political crisis. The Madhya Pradesh political crisis was that a few members of the ruling Congress party sent their resignations to the Madhya Pradesh governor and the speaker of the Madhya Pradesh assembly through email. While we can resign a post of MLA or MP as the case may be, there is no method as to how resignations should be sent and how the acceptance of the resignation must be communicated. Also, we saw as recently in the Rajasthan political crisis that MLAs were sought to be disqualified. The speaker initiated proceedings to disqualify former Deputy Chief Minister Sachin Pilot and a few MLAs who were in his support on the ground that they acted against the directions of the party. So what happened in this case was intra-party dissent. So intra-party dissent is something which is a problem with the party leadership, which is something which has to be inside the party. It is an inside affair which has to be decided within the party. So can we disqualify an MP or MLA for intra-party dissent? This is also a question. Along with these questions, the Rajasthan High Court has framed 13 questions relating to the law of disqualification in this case. The case is yet to be decided. These are recent examples which show as to how ineffective the anti-defection law has been. There has been a few important judgments of the Supreme Court on the anti-defection law. The most important case is Kilhota Zakilu case. This judgment was passed in 1992. In this case, the Supreme Court said that paragraph 7 of the 10th schedule was unconstitutional, against the spirit of the constitution. The paragraph 7 said that any decision of the speaker relating to the disqualification of MP or MLA, as the case may be, was immune to judicial review. The court could not decide whether the disqualification was proper or not. Judicial review, that is to say, the review of the actions of the legislature and executive by the court, maybe the High Court or the Supreme Court, is a basic feature of our constitution, and it cannot be taken away by any amendment to any sort of law. Also, the Supreme Court said that the basic intention of the anti-defection law was to put a full stop to, put a check and a speed breaker on unethical and unprincipled political defections which happen without any valid cause. Also, the court specified that the anti-defection law was intended to put a control on defections. The speaker has to act and acts in the capacity of a tribunal. He acts like a tribunal when he is deciding the disqualification of MP or MLA, and therefore his actions can be reviewed by the court and also can be struck down. Therefore, there is also another case, Rajendra versus Swami Moria case, in which the Supreme Court had said that if the speaker goes against basic principles and rules while deciding disqualification of an MP or MLA, then the court can review the decision, and the court has the power to review such a decision. So friends, I think you would have understood and got a detailed knowledge of the anti-defection law from this video. If you have liked this video, please like and share it, please comment on it, and please subscribe to my channel. So we can do further things if we want to remove defects in the anti-defection law. So what is needed is an impartial tribunal headed by an High Court retired judge at the state level and a retired Supreme Court judge at the central level to decide on the disqualification of MP or MLA, as the case may be. These tribunals, headed by former judges of Supreme Court and High Court, can effectively decide on the disqualification, and also a time limit can be placed for the speaker to decide about the resignation of MLAs or MPs. In this way, we can plug the loopholes in the anti-defection law, and the law can serve the basic intent, the basic purpose for which it was established. Thank you, friends.